Happy Monday, everybody!
Hey everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to Sermon Break.
Welcome. We're here.
It's us today.
It's us.
You and me.
I jumped on for today, but excited for Sermon Break. Excited, honestly, based on the chat for lunch already. There is a lot of people put what they're having for lunch in the chat, and it sounds amazing. The
Longo's food bar. I feel like I'm right into that.
The options are endless, apparently.
Apparently.
Some Nigerian food in the chat too. I don't know, there's a lot that's going on there. So
salmon from Longo's is Emily's recommendation.
Okay.
That seems very healthy, Emily. I love that.
I'm having breakfast for lunch, okay?
Yes.
That's
our plan. That's our plan.
There we go. Breakfast for lunch.
It's the best. But okay, I'm a little biased because my favorite food at any time is always breakfast food.
It's true.
Chocolate chip pancakes, eggs, waffles, all the breakfast food, all the time. Lots of coffee.
But welcome. What an incredible weekend it was in church.
It was a great weekend.
I felt like it was even an extended weekend. This is one of those weekends where it's like, it's a long weekend for church because we had Thursday night.
Yes.
And so it was like
we had our worship
really
night.
Kind of extended it out and had our worship night on Thursday night. Incredible time where we had the road to the arena. Really believe it's just really the season that God has us in right now. It wasn't just a one-time event where we came together and we worshiped, but we really set the atmosphere for all that God's going to do from now until we get to the arena, Scotiabank Arena. April 27th, downtown, Elevation Nights. If you have not got your tickets, go on there and get it. Crazy news, guys. We were almost sold out. When I say almost sold out, I'm saying over 12,000 seats sold, and there was only like 12,500 available.
That's amazing.
We just added an extra couple thousand tickets. Worked with the venue all end of last week, over the weekend. We got it going, guys. We got more tickets up there. So if you haven't got it, or maybe you looked online, you're like, there's just like a couple of seats here and there. Lots more open for you guys now. So it's going to be packed.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be even bigger than anticipated.
Honestly, I am so expectant. Just to even I don't think my brain can even imagine what 12,000 people worshiping looks like. All I know, it's going to be the best thing Toronto has ever seen. And I'm declaring it. I'm getting ready for it. And I just want you to be there. So make sure you get your ticket. And I can't wait to worship alongside you.
April 27th, that's the Toronto date. So get ready for it.
Let's get ready. Okay.
But sermon.
Focus your faith. Focus your faith. Pastor started this brand new series. There's more to this story.
Yes.
We heard from Lisa Turkers last week, and then he came back on fire.
Check it out.
What Joshua said in chapter 2, verse 1, he said, go to spies. Shh, it's an inside job. We're not gonna make a big deal about this. We're just going to focus our faith right now. I not only feel that God called me to impart faith to you today in this series, but also to impart focus. What is the next thing you need to face? Just that. What is the one thing? Because Jericho was like the key city. It was the strategic command center. It's like your mind is to your body. If they got in Jericho, they could take the rest of the land. And I am telling you, the enemy is trying to get you to focus on too much so that all you want to do is go take a nap and do it tomorrow. But no, who can I call today? What can I do today? Oh, well, I don't have money. Well, what would you do if you did have money? Do a little bit of that. I don't have time to go work out. Well, I do it. I don't have time. You got 10 minutes? Yeah, I got 10 minutes. Do 10 minutes. I would work out for an hour. Okay, do the thing that you would do for an hour for 10 minutes. You don't get it.
So good.
So good. I love this idea, just everything he was saying, just about focus. And it really, if you're saying you want to do something, to just step in and go and do it for 10 minutes. Even if you want to do it for an hour, do it for what you would do for 10 minutes. I thought that was really good.
It's so powerful because a lot of times we get overwhelmed, right? You talked about, how a lot, like They tried to go in with 12 originally. There's 10 too many. You just need 2.
Yeah.
So I'm put a little 2 in the chat, all right? I drew it in my notes yesterday, little peace sign.
You're a little artist on the side over here.
Apparently.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, thank you. But anyways, throw a little peace sign in the chat. You only need 2. You only need, as you see in the chat here, where was it? God is my spotter, Jesus is my crew chief. And that's all you need, and then you get the bonus with the Holy Spirit.
Right,
as well.
of course.
But I just love how a lot of times when we have something ahead of us that maybe we're working on, maybe we just feel like we need to do, maybe it's something with your job, maybe in your family, maybe even something at home, it can be overwhelming.
Right.
And a lot of times when you look at the whole thing, you're like, man, this is a little overwhelming, this is a lot. But just to kind of how Pastor broke it down of like, you don't need to set aside your whole weekend to do this. Like, take 10 minutes today. Like, it's Monday. Take 10 minutes tonight. Like, after you back home from work, get settled in. What's that thing that you were just gonna wait until the weekend for and hope that there's no other plans that you have? Like, what can you do today? Something we've been doing, something small, is just like feeling like we need to do a little bit of spring cleaning. Like, I'm already trying to, maybe I'm just trying to wish winter away too soon, and that's why I want to do spring cleaning. But it's just like, it's this intimidating thing. We're like, oh, we gotta like purge all these things. We gotta clean out this drawer and this cabinet and this closet we've just been jamming stuff in and all that. But just kind of being like, okay, as Pastor said, like, you got 10 minutes tonight, let's do it. And starting there.
I think these small steps, I find that they really bring forth momentum. And once you have momentum, I know for those 10 minutes that we spent organizing something, I know that that's gonna, okay, I felt so good doing that. I'm gonna be more motivated to maybe go back tonight and do more. I know that's a simple example, but I feel like it holds true for anything that we do. Another example that I think about, and this is the season that Stephen and I are in, is obviously we have a young child, and it's really hard to go on date nights, but something that we've always wanted to do is just prioritize each other in the relationship. So we'll take, literally, it's funny that he says 10 minutes, because I feel like it is actually, we only have 10 minutes of free time, and we'll say, okay, let's just sit down and actually have intentional conversations with each other. How are you feeling today? What are you struggling with? And we found that has done so much for our relationship. And I encourage you, even if you're not married, doing this with a friend is so powerful. Just having somebody that even for 10 minutes, you can just say, hey, this is where I'm at right now. Can you pray for me? Can you help me overcome this? Because even what Pastor was saying, your words really have power. He even says it has to do with your discussions. So taking those 10 minutes to talk to somebody, it can be really healing, and it could free you from a lot of things. And I think so many times we just want to hold back our feelings or hold back talking to somebody about what we're going through. But once we say it and once we release it, we can lift it up to God and allow Him to come in and fill those gaps.
Yeah, even just taking a little bit of time and diving back into the scripture, I think sometimes we can get like frustrated sometimes with ourselves or our schedule. Like Pastor said, like, oh, just put me on. I'll be your headset this week. Put me on in the car. Like, I know you don't have time to do it. You're leaving at 5:30 a.m. You don't have time to sit down and just be present with God for like an hour. Okay, I'll be in the car with you, like, put me on.
Right, the car is your sanctuary.
Car is your sanctuary. So just taking those moments to be able to spend time with God, I think is so important. And I love that verse as well that we referenced.
Yes.
We referenced Joshua 1:7.
I loved it too. I think I should read it because
I was gonna say, I want to set you up for this one because this has been like your thing this year.
This has been my word this year. So I was super excited. I actually, when he started the series, I looked ahead to Joshua, so I knew, or I had a feeling that he would preach on this verse. But it's Joshua 1:7. It says, "Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go." So my word for the year is courage. And since January, I've been really studying courage and what it means. So it was really interesting that Pastor talked about this importance of being strong and very courageous and to be careful. And I had never put those two together. I always just focused on the courage. But this idea of being careful of what we fill our mind with, what we do, and just this idea that it's not gonna be a feeling. We're not gonna ever feel strong. We might not ever feel courageous, but we just have to step into it and do it. What I've learned about courage so far, one thing that I loved is that we're never going to get it right all the time, but the more times we can step forward rather than stepping back, that's being courageous. That's doing the thing that we know is right, even though it's hard. And it's a hard thing to do, but every time that we do it, we're gonna see the fruit of it when we know it's obviously moving into God's purpose and God's ways. But I don't know, I've been fascinated by this idea.
Yeah, I love it. And when he was talking about it, I just kind of had this image of like when he was saying be courageous, but then also be careful. Of like, when you originally just think of being courageous, I think of like a bull in a china shop, like just like, let's just go after it. Let's just be bold and courageous and all that. But even when he was talking about, okay, but be careful at the same time, it flipped my mentality to this bull in the china shop to now this like commander-in-chief in the battle lines drawing out the plans and being like, hey, we're gonna send these people over here and we're gonna surprise the enemy and we're gonna come after it, but we're gonna be strategic about it, we're gonna be careful about it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be courageous because we're still gonna have to fight the battle, but we have a little bit of planning beforehand. We have a little bit of like insight. Obviously in our walks with God, we have some prayer and some wise counsel and stuff. But I think it was awesome. And what he was talking about, what I loved was how he's given us a glimpse of the strong me.
Yes.
And how
that was so good.
I love that because sometimes we can get discouraged that we're not where we want to be.
Yeah.
We all want to be further along. Can I get an amen in the chat? We all want to be further along, but a lot of times we just have to recognize that like God will give you glimpses, like, oh man, you succeeded this one time, or you were a great friend in this situation, or you did so good for your coworker in this season, or you were whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
Taking those glimpses and knowing like it's in me, like God, if you've given me that glimpse, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And so now I just need to work on, not that I'm not that, you are that.
Yeah.
We've seen it. Now I just need to work on the consistency. So that's not just once every 3 months, but maybe I can get it, maybe once a month I can act like that. Maybe once a week. Maybe it's every day. Like you start building that consistency and that's where you're gonna see that progress towards that goal that you have to be all that God's called you to be.
Right. And it's the small steps. It's doing it for 10 minutes and then again doing it for another 10 minutes and then next week doing it for 20 minutes. And even it's just starting with something small. Maybe it is, say, doing spring cleaning for 10 minutes, but then that's gonna say, okay, I'm gonna enter into this hard conversation with someone that maybe I wouldn't have before because I know that there's goodness on the other side and I need to do this to restore it. So I feel like when we can be courageous and take those small steps in the small things, it's just gonna overflow into the bigger things and it's gonna set us up for success to take on those bigger challenges and problems that we face. But we can't think of it all at once, right? He said, this is why we feel overwhelmed because we're trying to conquer everything. But what is one thing in your life that you can walk into courageously today to take on and know that that's just gonna set you up for some momentum?
Yeah. I loved what he was talking about too, this whole thing at the end, this kind of like chant that we can get into our spirit.
I love that too.
To like go after this week with knowing that like God is not against me.
Yeah.
He is in it with me.
Yeah.
He is working through me and he's fighting for me. All right, we're just gonna say it again. God is not against me. Say it wherever you're at right now in your living room.
God is not against me.
In the coffee break room, at lunch. But he's in it with me.
He's in it with me.
He's working through me.
He's working through me.
And he's fighting for me.
And he's fighting for me.
I love that.
I love that. I've been singing it in my head too, because honestly, that just gives me so much, power to take on the different things. When I know that God is for me, he's not against me, that he's right beside me, and he is doing everything for his good. It just gives me so much confidence. So I just want to encourage you today. What is one meditation that you can just keep in your head as you go about this week? What control center are you listening to? Be intentional about that. Make sure that the voices that are coming in, that they're God's voice above everybody else. Like he was saying, put the device down, focus on the one, and just believe that he really is fighting for you. He has good plans for you. He's not gonna leave you where you're at. There is so much more to come. So,
for sure.
It was a great message.
It was so good. Embrace it this week. God's for you. He's fighting for you. He's working through you. And the best is ahead. So go after it this week. Do something small today. Don't delay.
Yes.
And see God work in your life.
We will see you Sunday, church.